Good morning, students. Now we are going to discuss on identification division of Unit 1 COBOL language. So, the identification division seems to be one of the important division in COBOL programs. So, other than these divisions, we have some more divisions in COBOL program, but we are giving some importance to the identification division. And here in this topic, we are going to discuss two more divisions. The first one, which is identification division, and second one, which is data division. So each and every divisions which consist of some paragraphs. These paragraphs are used to include some various informations about the programs that you are going to code. Some of the paragraphs are mandatory and some of the paragraphs are optional. So under identification division and data division, you have few paragraphs which are mandatory and you have few paragraphs which are optional one. So we are going to see each and every divisions in detail. So in the introduction part, we have both the divisions as identification division and environment division, which is going to be the two leading divisions in any COBOL program that you're going to use. So these divisions, which consist of entries that are required to either identify the program or describe the computer system that you're going to use for compilation and execution of the program. Generally, the entries in these divisions are used only for documentation purposes. So in short, to identify various things related to program, we use identification division, and to check out what is the environment or what are the various things that we have in our environment related to coding of a program could be discussed in environment division. So the first one in detail about identification division. So this is going to be the first division of every COBOL source program, and the important paragraph is program ID, which seems to be an essential in all the program that you're going to use, and all the other paragraphs under identification divisions are optional. So here we have mentioned the structure of identification divisions. So the first paragraph is program hyphen id dot a space a program name and one more dot. The next paragraph is author dot a space author name and then dot. So while mentioning these paragraphs, you have to be very clear, as there must not be any spelling mistakes in the paragraph names, and it must be quoted only in capital letters. And next to each and every paragraphs, you have to include the period, the dot, and you have to include a space next to the dot, and then whatever the corresponding informations related to the paragraph must be mentioned, and once again you have to include the dot. So these are the some of the procedures that you have to follow while coding the COBOL program. So you have some more paragraphs like installation, and data written, and data compiled, and security and remarks. See, so these are the some additional paragraphs that we have over here. Um, so the division, heading, and paragraph names always should be coded under margin A entries. So you have two more margins, important margins, as margin A and margin B. So all these divisions must be uh, coded in margin A entries. The paragraph headings must be terminated with a proper period, or else it will result in a programming error. So entries in all the other paragraphs in identification division will be treated as the comments, and the programmer is free to write anything of these entries, and that must be an meaningful one. And all these things are included only for some better documentation purposes. So the entry for author paragraph and date compiled paragraph, all these things are an optional one. So next one, which is about data division. Data division, which is going to be an important part of COBOL program, where every data items are listed and processed by the program. So it is important to note that unless a data item is described in the data division, it could not be used in procedure division. So suppose if you have some 5 data names that you have to use in your program, you have to mention all those 5 data names properly under the data division of your program, so that you could use in your procedure division of your program. And the data division is divided into various sections. The various sections are working storage section, and then linkage section, and reporting section. So depending on the use of data item, it should be defined in some appropriate sections. Now we are going to consider some two sections. The first one, which is file section, and next one, which is about working storage section. So the file section, which includes the description of all data items which is related to the files that you're going to use within your program. And then the working storage section, which are developed internally as intermediate result, as well as the constants that you're going to use within your program. So you have data items and also the listings of constants. So here we have the format of data division. So you have data division, first one file section, and which consists of some file section entries, and next one is about working storage section, which consists of working storage entries. So while mentioning the working storage section, you must include a hyphen between a working and storage. So actually working storage couldn't be mentioned as single word, so these two different words are separated using a hyphen. So all these section names as well as the division name must be coded in margin A entries. So this seems to be an important point over here. So each section of the data division is optional, which means that a section may be omitted. So students, so here we started with identification division, and we have included two more divisions like environment division and then data division. So in identification division, the important thing, which is the program ID, paragraph, Without program ID paragraph, we won't able to create any program, and all the other paragraphs are optional one. So under environment division, so all the paragraphs are optional one. So there the date of compilation and then the date of coding environment could be mentioned as an optional one. Under data division, we have two important sections which could not be omitted. The first one which is about file section, and second one which is about working storage section. So these are some various key points related to divisions in COBOL program. So with this, I am stopping this session. Thank you, students. Thank you for listening.